Joining me now is former Top Gun Navy fighter pilot Matthew Wiz Buckley and the Senior Iran Program Director for the Foundation for Defense of Democracies, Behnam Taleblu. Great to see you. Thank you so much for being here. So, Wiz, let's start with you. Why do you think it took so long for the president to publicly be targeting Pickaxe Mountain? And given what we have in terms of the bombs we can drop to destroy it, if that's what they choose to do, is that possible?
Let me take the second one first. The B-2 can carry the GBU-57, so we obviously can hit it, but that's the only aircraft in our inventory that can do it. I'm not going to dig, pun intended, too deep into the capabilities and how far we can go and what we can do, but let's just say you don't want to be down there. And let's just say that we might have other weapons and technologies in our inventory that can do some damage to this. So if this needs to go, it needs to go. Taking your first question second here, I don't know. You're going to have to ask President Trump. We should have taken out the infrastructure first. You remember shock and awe in Operation Desert Storm? We should have taken a lot of stuff out first. I think he's been kind of dragged, kicking and screaming to taking this stuff out. It needs to happen.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Behnam, the International Atomic Energy Agency has not been given access to the site. They're not providing, getting any information about the activities there. The IAEA was asked and told that it was none of their business. Of course, that's very worrisome. One of the big questions has been, look, Iran is a huge place, and it's bigger than Texas. It's a massive area to cover. Are we actually targeting all of the nuclear material that we need to, and are we able to surveil and monitor all of those places?
Well, great to be with you, Katie. The good news, at least, at the latter half of your question, is that the U.S. did know about this site. It did know about it, unfortunately, as the Biden administration in the 2020s kept trying to negotiate with the Islamic Republic, because that's when the commercial satellite imagery became available. And you have to bet that if it was commercially available, then certainly that the U.S. intelligence community knew about this Iranian tunneling and Iranian digging. And if this is something that has triggered the eyes of commercial folks and open source Iran watchers, then you can bet that other big digging projects, if they do exist in the Islamic Republic, which you're right is about 1/5 the size of America, are also being watched. The more challenging part here is that the IAEA has not only never been able to go to Pickaxe Mountain, but what the public needs to know is that the IAEA has never even been allowed back into Iran after the 12-day war to inspect the sites that were struck. That's Isfahan, Natanz, and Fordow. And that is a minimum, the de minimis thing that we have to get from this regime to know it's not pursuing a nuclear weapon.
So, Wiz, there's a discrepancy in some of the intelligence. The Israeli intelligence is showing that centrifuges have been moved to this area. President Trump seems certain that he would know that based on cameras that are pointed at location thanks to Space Force. Take a listen to what he had to say about that.
We have cameras that's called Space Force. They're in space. But we have cameras that can read the badge of the person going over to a site. Mohammed something. We say it's Mohammed something is there with shovels. Well, shovels won't get you there. The biggest machinery in the world probably won't get you there, if you want to know the truth. It's way, way below. But we're watching that. And if anybody goes there, they get blown up.
So similar to what you just said, you don't want to be down there because we are watching from the highest point, which is outer space.
Well, a couple of things, Katie. First of all, there's a bunch of different reconnaissance and intelligence. He's talking about satellites. I guarantee you Israel has boots on the ground. They're sitting there taking pictures. They're talking to people. The Mossad just has incredible capabilities. So they work in conjunction together. Satellites taken from on high and then boots on the ground. You need both. And in this day and age and with subterfuge, I actually trust the boots on the ground a lot more than the satellites. The Iranians know we're looking, and they're getting intel from Iran on how to hide from our satellites. And between us, ladies here, Katie, they probably know our satellite schedules because the Russians are giving it to them. They know when to hide stuff.
Good point. Behnam, final word to you on that portion of this conversation.
Ultimately, it's not just about the sites. It's not just about the facilities. It's the people. The Islamic Republic of Iran, so long as it's around, is going to be pursuing this capability, this weapon in one form or another. And tonight, when the U.S. actually was able to thwart, through interception at least, a major surprise attack involving ballistic missiles, this should be another red alarm, a big alarm for the Trump administration and for the American people, that so long as the Islamic Republic is around, we're going to be dealing with its quest for a nuclear weapon, as well as the means to deliver them, which are ballistic missiles.
Well, the back and forth is getting tiresome, and I think we need some solid action to
Absolutely.
eliminate this threat once and for all. Matthew Wiz Buckley and Behnam Taleblu, thank you for joining me tonight. Always appreciate your insight.
Good seeing you, Katie.
Thank
you.